I'm going to read from Matthew 27, starting in verse 62. It says this, "The next day, which followed the preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered before Pilate and said, 'Sir, we remember that while this deceiver,'" and they were referring to Jesus, "was still alive, he said, 'After 3 days, I will rise again.' Therefore give orders that the tomb be made secure until the 3rd day. Otherwise, his disciples may come steal him and tell the people he is raised from the dead. Then the last deception will be worse than the first." "You have a guard of soldiers," Pilate told them. "Go and make it as secure as you know how." Then they went and made the tomb secure by sealing the stone and setting the guard. So today is known in Holy Week as Silent Saturday. We know a lot happened on Friday with Jesus being tortured and crucified and dying on the cross. And we know what's coming on Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, where Jesus conquers death and hell, rises from the dead. He gives us forgiveness for sins from past, present, and future. But we do need to pause and think about that Saturday. And I don't know if you've ever considered what it must have felt like for the disciples, if you've ever put yourself in their sandals, but it's worth a pause. It's worth thinking about. I can't imagine the disappointment that they felt. I think about how they may have felt discouraged. They may have thought that all this was for nothing, like this, we went through all this, we gave up our lives to follow this man named Jesus, and he made these promises, and he even talked to them about his death and that he would come back for them, but surely he didn't mean this, because they watched him die. I think about the fear that they must have experienced, fear for their lives, fear of what do we do now? I just think there was a lot of emotion going on in that day, and I think that sometimes when God is silent, his silence is actually louder than his voice. We really know when we feel like he's absent, like he's not working. And that leads me to think about the silent Saturdays in our lives. And maybe you're in one of those periods now. Maybe you're in one of those times that you just feel like God is far away, that he's not around you, that maybe he's abandoned you. Maybe you're waiting for that job opportunity. Maybe you're waiting for a child to bless your family. Maybe you're looking for a new way to provide a bigger home for your growing family. Maybe you're anticipating or asking God for freedom from anxiety or depression or an addiction in your life. And you just feel like God is silent. And you're praying and you're saying, "God, I'm doing all these things. I'm doing all I know to do. Is there something else I need to do to find favor with you? Is there something else that you require of me? Why are you being silent? Why are you not talking to me? Why are you not speaking to me?" Maybe you find yourself on a silent Saturday. Maybe it's been a period of time for you. If you find yourself there, I want to encourage you and let you know that God is faithful. And even when you can't see him working, he is. The disciples learned that. See, we know the end of the story. They learned it on Silent Saturday. We get to know that God is faithful. He did keep his promises. Jesus did rise from the dead just like he said he was going to. And it may feel silent now, but God is going to show up. He is going to be faithful. So I just want to encourage you today to know that God is working in your life. He is moving. He is the ultimate provider. He is the blessing giver. He is a miracle worker. He is going to provide everything that you need. He's working, and he's going to continue to work. He heals all wounds, and he will heal yours. And you need to know that Sunday is coming. Resurrection Day is coming. Every Silent Saturday is filled with is followed by a Resurrection Sunday. He is coming again. So as we prepare for tomorrow, Resurrection Day, here's what I want to encourage you to do. Get a piece of paper, and I want you to write 2 columns. In one column, I want you to write times that I felt God was silent, and write those times down. And in the next column, I want you to write how God was faithful in those times. You're going to be able to look back and see that God was faithful then. And you may have some in the left-hand column of where you feel like God is silent. You may not have answers yet that where he's come through. But if you have some blank spaces in those columns, make sure that you just ask God to show you clarity. Give you clarity where you can see his fingerprints in that situation, and you can anticipate that Resurrection Sunday is coming.